Something happened in the year 2008. All of the owners of the debt one day decided, you know, the few $1 trillion we lent you guys, yeah, we're gonna need it back. When? Today. But the reason why I gave this introduction is because it'll prepare you for this cure. In my opinion, out of the 52 lectures we've done, even though we've talked about some difficult things, we've talked about some things that were nice, some things that were difficult, some things that are hard to fix, some things that are easy to fix, but nonetheless, each lecture has left me, at least, with a list of things I have to fix. I think this one is the scariest of them all. And it says the following. Hu haya omer, here we're still talking about Rabbi Akiva, the sage of all sages. Hu haya omer, הכל נתון בערבון ומצודה פרוסה על כל החיים, החנות פתוחה והחנווני מקיף והפנקס פתוח והיד כותבת וכל הרוצה ללוות יבוא וילווה והגבאים מחזירים תדיר בכל יום ונפרעים מן האדם מדעתו ושלא מדעתו ויש להם על מה שיסמכו והדין דין אמת והכל מתוקן לסעודה. Translation. Rabbi Akiva says, everything is given on collateral. A net is spread all over the living. The shop is open. The merchant extends credit. The ledger is open. The hand writes. Whoever wishes to borrow, let him come and borrow. The collectors make their rounds constantly every day and collect payment from the person, whether he realizes it or not. They have proof to rely on. The judgment is a truthful judgment, and everything is prepared for the final festive banquet. A little bit of a parable, but it sounds more like a business than it does musar. And the reason why is because Rabbi Akiva is describing a business. He's describing the business of being God. He says most people understand business. Saying if you buy something, it belongs to you. You sell something, it belongs to the next person. If you want something, you have to pay for it. If you can't afford it, you can't buy it. Unless you could borrow money. People understand the basic concept of business. Borrow money, lend money, buy things, sell things. Accounting, knowing your record, how to balance your checkbook, what you bought, what you sold, profit, loss. And an ultimate goal. These are all things that people understand. And he says, this is no different than the business of being God. Only we don't like to view things that way. So he's helping us. So Rabbi Akiva says, HaShem runs his world much like a business. He has investments, they're called you. And he's going to give each one of these investments a certain amount of effort. Not that he's limited with effort, but nonetheless he's going to invest into each person certain skill sets, certain material gains, certain aspects of the person. He's going to invest into that person. But the first thing you need to know, everything is given on collateral. Everything is a loan. It's not yours. Everything it's an investment. It's something that he's putting into you. But in reality, it's something that you must use and you must generate a profit. Because eventually, HaShem has to collect the debt. This life that he's instilled in us, he's going to eventually have to take it back. You don't need to be religious to know that everyone dies. You don't need to be religious. You don't need to be religious to know that our time in this world is temporary. B'ezrat Hashem, everyone lives till 120, but the reality tells us that we're not all going to live till 120. Some less. My cousin died a few months ago. We talked about him a few times. He was in his early 20s. Second day of Rosh Hashanah, he decided to go on his scooter. And he went on a scooter. Something that seems like normal, simple, nothing, non-event. He fell off the scooter, not because he got hit, just fell off the scooter, slipped off the scooter, hit his head. His head was shaking a little bit, dizzy. So they went to the hospital. Hospital said, we checked everything, you're okay. You're okay, don't worry about it, go home. You're young, you're 20-something years old. Life's ahead of you. Life's ahead of you. Nice guy, very wealthy family, smart kid. What could go wrong? Well, as the story goes, is that he went home, same day. He went to sleep, and HaShem and HaShem, he never woke up. Now, do you think that he himself, who knows more about himself than anyone else, thought that today is my last day, so I'm going to go spend it on a scooter? Did you think that? Today is my last day, so I don't really need to call Abba and Ima and tell them goodbye, because I'll have tomorrow. Do you think that someone in their early 20s thought that there's even a remote chance of today being the last day for them? No. He didn't think that the Baal Habayit was going to collect the debt early. He didn't think. So life, the older you get, you start meeting people that unfortunately are no longer in the world. You start realizing, oh, not everybody lives till 120. And Rabbi Akiva says, why? Because everything's on collateral. Eventually HaShem decides to call the debt. Eventually HaShem says, you know what? This investment, I want it back. His own reasons. Sometimes because the investment's not working out and he sees it getting worse. Sometimes it's because of other reasons. Only he knows. But the point being is the one that owns the debt can call the debt whenever he wants. When I was in the business world, we would invest and we'd use debt to invest. So let's say you have $1 million, but you can use the $1 million to buy $2 million worth of stuff, $3 million worth of stuff, sometimes even $6 million worth of stuff, depending on what you bought. Whether it was you bought bonds or you bought stocks and so on. This is very much similar to anyone that owns a mortgage. You have a mortgage for a house. Your house is, let's say your house is $500,000 or whatever it is. But in reality, when you bought the house, you put down $50,000. So you borrowed $450. So in essence, the bank is valuing your 50 as if it's 500 to allow you to buy the house. It's not that they're excited about lending you money. They're excited about the fact that you want to live there, so that you'll do whatever you can to pay them back with interest. So in the investment world, something happened in the year 2008. All of the owners of the debt, mortgages, major banks, and so on, one day decided, you know, the few $1 trillion we lent you guys, yeah, we're going to need them back. When? Today. Where am I going to get $1 trillion from? Not my problem. Because if you don't get it, we're not going to be able to support the system. The whole system fails. This is what the whole bailout was about in very, 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 very junior, simple terms. In essence, The ones that were borrowed, the ones that borrowed were forced to return it before they were able to. And the ones that lent realized they lent too much and to the wrong people. But the whole crash happened because of debt. Debt controls the market, not equity. So here we see very much the same thing from the source of all. Rabbi Akiva says the one that owns all the debt needs you to know every day. You wake up in the morning. Before you decide to do good things or bad things, know that everything is on collateral. Eventually Hashem's going to call the debt. Eventually time's going to be over. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do if you knew that today's the last day? Shem Yirachem, what are you going to do today? Are you going to spend today walking around immodest? Or you say, you know what? Maybe today is the last day, so at least let me show up with modest clothing today. Are you going to spend today not praying? Or you say, yeah, maybe today's the last day, so at least let me say some prayer to God before I meet Him. Is today the day that's the last one? You say, nah, I don't feel like studying today. You're going to meet your maker, he says, listen, I gave you a book of instructions. Why didn't you read it today? Oh, I thought I'm going to have it tomorrow. Yeah, but you don't. Because now you see me. First thing, Rabbi Akiva, Kodesh Kodashim, he's telling you first, no, it's on collateral. That's the beginning of Yirat Shamayim. Beginning of a foundation of wisdom. Beginning of a foundation of connection to Hashem is knowing you have to have Yirat Shamayim. You have to fear this day of meeting your Maker, meeting the Creator, meeting Hashem Yitbarach. Because if you're not scared of that day, you're sicker than we thought. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.